let's talk about your big toe, your butt, and your fascia. If you're new to this realm, those things may seem extremely unrelated, but let me tell you firsthand, they're definitely related. That big toe, the mobility, dexterity, flexibility, and strength of that big toe tells me a lot. It tells me how tight your fascia is. It tells me where in your fascial system and your fascial lines you're going to have tight or dysfunctional or weak muscles. And it also tells me whether your glutes, your booty cheeks, your muscles, your glute med specifically is sleepy and inactive. And a lot of the time, most people have sleepy glutes, tight feet, and are chronically inflamed and tight with fascia tension all over. And that means that their tissues are dehydrated, they're not getting lubricated, and messages are not getting sent clearly throughout the body. Okay, so we're going to start on the floor, and you can stand up when you do this. I want to see what can that big toe do. The most important thing is the big toe going into extension. If we cannot bring this big toe back into like nearly a 90-degree angle, I'm telling you right now, you have a flat ass. That ass is not turned on. That ass is sleeping. You sit a lot. You probably have bad balance and bad posture. That big toe will tell me that much about your posture. So the first thing we're going to check is, can you go into extension? And what that means is, can you press your little toes down and pull your big toes up like this? And then can you do the inverse of that? Can you press your big toes down and lift your little toes up? Once you get that down, and maybe you need to isolate. Maybe your brain literally cannot handle doing two at once. This is a little bit of a Kill Bill moment. So just try 1 foot at a time. Big toe up, big toe down, little toes up. And kind of switch back and forth. Do that a few times. Most of my clients, when they come to me, they literally cannot do that. Like, their feet are so chronically tight. If you have very ticklish feet, that tells me a lot. If you are ticklish anywhere, like extremely ticklish, or have sensitive like areas on your body, that is tight, dehydrated fascia. That does not mean you're ticklish. That means you're tight and dehydrated, okay? So if we have very sensitive feet, which many of my clients starting with me, especially with the body work, they'll have very, very, very hard, sensitive, ticklish feet. And after 4 to 6 sessions in, I'm Googling all over that foot, and they're not making a peep, because we've warmed that tissue up, we've created blood flow, circulation, we've broken up tight fascia, and now they have connection to the whole body. The balance increases. So I'm going to stand up and just show you what happens when I engage the tripod of my foot. This is something I teach my personal training clients. All of them are training barefoot or in minimalistic wide toe box shoes. And all that means is you're engaging the big toe, the pinky, and the heel, pulling the arch open. And what this does is it drives and rotates and spirals my leg out and away from my midline so my glutes can turn on. If you're doing exercises and you're watching videos of yourself and every rep you're lifting your feet up, that tells me a lot about your connection and a lot about the tension in your fascia and how there's dysfunction there. The feet are the first connection to movement. The big toe, when we walk, is the last thing that touches the ground. And if we have dysfunction in that big toe, it's gonna fuck your whole system up. So let me show you what it looks like when we can engage that midfoot and peel the arch open, what it does to my knees, my quads, everything. And then I'm gonna show you guys a couple release techniques, and hopefully this will be a shorter video than longer. Okay, I kind of have to get close to the camera for you guys to see this, but just watch my knee and watch my whole leg. So when I engage my foot, it's kind of hard on carpet. Do you see how like my whole spiral of that foot, and I'm not lifting my big toe up. I watch my arch. I'm pulling my arch open, and that takes my glute, and it turns my glute on. You can see it laterally here, and since I'm a little bit muscular, you can see those muscles engage. There's a difference between squatting or deadlifting like this with my toes lifting, and really screwing my feet into the ground, engaging my quads, and pushing back into my glutes. I have that big toe connection. That is the glue that literally sticks my feet to the floor and engages the whole movement and the spiral. That spiral line starts by my foot engagement. I'm gonna go, we can go more into that if you guys need another video on that whole situation, but I wanna show you how to release the foot and how to roll it out, because this is what I see a lot of people do wrong, and that's why they don't see progress. Okay, these are gonna be my options I'm showing you. You can also use a lacrosse ball. These are actually for like forearms and people with like messed up wrist and stuff. It's called a TheraBand. I just got these off Amazon. They're really stretchy. You're supposed to like do stuff like this or whatever, like stuff like this for the forearms and the wrist. However, I have found these are amazing tools to roll my feet out. If you do not have these and you do not want to purchase more tools to do body release, this is just a wooden dowel from Home Depot I cut. And if you don't have a wooden dowel from Home Depot, use a broomstick, use whatever you have, okay? I always tell people use broomstick. So what we're gonna do is, a lot of people when they hear roll out your foot, they think this, oh yeah, Danny, I roll out my foot all the time. I'm always rolling out my foot. Okay, anytime you're on any type of rolling device, whether it's a ball or a foam roller or a wooden dowel like this, don't do that, okay? Don't just viciously roll back and forth. You will not find any pain or tension. Fascia release is about slow, controlled pressure and breath work. So I want to show you the cadence and the way that you should be rolling your foot out, and this will be applied to any type of rolling. If you are rolling your quads out or your back out on a foam roller, you need to use the same slow micro roll technique. So it's going to look like this. I suggest when you roll your feet, don't do it sitting down. I need you to do it standing up. It's going to be painful if you do this right. So make sure you're close to something you can kind of hold on to and relieve the pressure, or have another pole that you can kind of take the pressure off of your foot, because it can be really intense if you have really tight feet. So stand up, do one foot at a time. We're going to start back at the heel, and you're going to lean forward and put all your weight on this. Let me make sure I'm in the frame. You're going to put all your weight on this. Usually in the arch is where it's the tightest. And then you can start wiggling your toes around and really just angling like right here. My God, that is very painful for me. And I'm just going to stay here until it releases. Again, moving the toes around. So doing this is not going to do anything, guys. Don't do this. Put all your pressure by leaning forward, and then do what I call micro rolls. When you do these micro rolls and you're putting all your body weight onto those tight areas, it will be painful. You're going to hang out there. It could take 1 minute. It could take 30 seconds. It could take 3 minutes. But you're going to sit there until that sharp pain isn't as sharp. You're going to use your breath, breathing into your diaphragm, and then mobilizing your tissues. This will open up your calf and the whole, like literally your whole body, just by rolling your feet out. Make sure you're breathing. You can use that. You can use a pole, but you're going slow and you're waiting till you find these knotty little spots that just make you want to hee. And it should be painful, and you should go slow, and you may hear cracks and pops in your toes, and you're breaking up all kinds of fascia down there. And this is going to make a really, really, really big difference in your entire fascial line. So if you have any questions on the details of that, leave a comment below. If you don't have like a pole like this or a dowel, you can use a lacrosse ball. In my experience, tennis balls are a little too squishy. I really do prefer like this type of thickness, just because it covers more surface area than this. This is a little bit more of like a precise pinpoint. We're not trying to create pain, but you are looking for areas that are very uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable for a reason, because they're dry and dehydrated, and having a good connection to your foot will help you grow your glutes. And when your glutes are strong, we have good balance, and this prevents injuries like falling and breaking a hip when you get older. This helps your back muscles and your erectors, and your entire awareness of time and space changes when we have connection to our feet. We can go into a whole nother video on grounding and being barefoot and having our feet mobile, and the whole process of that, but I just want to focus on how to release our feet. It's those slow micro movements, putting pressure into it. I ain't gonna do shit on any part of my body rolling anything out like that. Slow, controlled movements using your breath to guide you through tension.